Okay, finishing chapter 13. Just finished the mustard seed parable. Now into the yeast parable. Kingdom of heaven is like yeast. I hate that. Mixed through 60 pounds of flour and through all the dough. I do not get that one. It's worked through all the dough. Like, my guess is that it is just like pervasive and like you can't extract it once it's all mixed in.
Yeah. And again, it's a parable that I think he's describing as negatives for the kingdom of heaven on earth.
Oh.
I don't think he is talking about it as a positive there. It's the same thing with the mustard seed birds. Okay, this is the very next one he does. Okay,
That
yeast
makes sense.
in the Passover celebration for the Jews, they had to get rid of yeast. Why? Because yeast is a substance that when you add it, it puffs up the bread.
Yeah.
That's a image for the Jews of pride. Okay, so they would eat unleavened bread. Leaven is another word for yeast. So when he says the kingdom of heaven is, he might be saying it's going to grow the way yeast makes dough grow.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be more literal, to me, I think he's saying it's corrosive, it's corrupt. It's the kingdom of heaven will grow, but it's a very controversial stance I take. Most people just say, yeah, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's true.
Well, what is negative about it?
Because when something causes something else to inflate, and because of the history of the Jews with yeast, I just don't see him using yeast in a good way. But most people think he is, and maybe he is.
But it's the kingdom of heaven.
I know, and that's why I think that it's tough to understand this, because the kingdom of heaven, which is on earth too, remember?
Right. That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, it seems like, just looking at it, he's talking about growing in number and strength like bread would when yeast is applied. It seems like that's a good thing. But when you take historically what Jews thought of it, I'm not so sure. And it might be one of those mysterious teachings that he was saying something very different. I don't know anyone who teaches it like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I may be wrong on it, but I just don't.
I'm not questioning the teaching. I'm trying to question exactly what you're saying, which is the kingdom of heaven. You're saying the negative part of the parable is that it's growing too much. Is that what's
becomes
negative?
bloviated and proud, just like you see today.
And it has birds nested in it.
You're right.
And,
No.
So it's not that the kingdom of heaven itself
it
is
itself
bad.
isn't bad, no.
Okay.
But he's just saying, look, because it could get like this. But that's a far stretch from the natural. But Jesus doesn't typically borrow from items of the Old Testament and the Jews and use them improperly.
Yeah.
Okay, he almost always uses everything and yeast is known to puff up. Yeasty yeast.
The way you said it. And yeast.
And yeast.
Okay. So, I just don't understand, though. The kingdom of heaven feels like it's like pure.
Yeah.
So this is implying, your read on it implies that there can be corruption to the kingdom of heaven. But I would just think if whatever's the corrupted part isn't actually the kingdom of heaven. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think that if Jesus wanted to depict the kingdom of heaven as growing immensely in a good way, he would have said the kingdom of heaven is like a drop of water that first appears from the roof. And lo and behold, the buckets around the house are full by the end of the day. But he uses yeast.
Okay.
And that troubles me.
All right.
I could be wrong.
I'm just...
Yeah. I know.
Getting to the bottom of where the trouble is. Okay, then the next two, hidden treasure and pearls. Wait, did I skip one? Mustard seed and yeast. I didn't write this one down, but oh, the weeds. Okay. I'm just gonna keep talking.
Okay.
The hidden treasure. I'm kind of going out of order in a weird way, but hidden treasure in a field, and then the pearls, where they both sell everything they have to get this thing that's really valuable.
He's talking about how wise that man was. That he went to a field, he dug, he happened to find a pearl of great price, which is one of the Mormons' borrowings from the Bible.
That's where it's from. Oh my gosh.
And he went and sold everything he had to purchase the field so that he could have that pearl. I don't know why he did
hidden treasure.
the hidden treasure, yeah. Oh, we're not in the pearl?
Mixing up the pearl and the treasure.
Sorry.
There's treasure in the field, there's a pearl, but both of them are like acquired by someone who sold everything to have it.
Okay, yeah.
The pearl is a separate thing, but yeah.
Okay, yeah.
A merchant looking for fine pearls.
Oh, that's right.
But pearl of great price. I always thought that was the weirdest name.
Yeah.
Pearl of great price.
Not original. Nothing is original there.
Okay, and then the net thrown into the sea collects all fish. Then the fishermen pull it out, sort them, throw the bad ones away.
Okay, so now listen. This is why I take the parable of the mustard seed and of the almost to the dogs in the tree and the yeast negatively.
Dogs are coming up.
Yeah, I know.
The birds in the tree. Okay, yeah.
Because he says the kingdom of heaven is like this. A fisherman goes out and he pulls in all kinds of fish, right? So his nets are huge. He's full. And what does he do?
They sort and pull out the bad fish.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the harvest.
Yeah.
They get rid of the weeds. They keep the tares. So the fatness of the kingdom is just an image of everyone's going to rush to it and it's going to get like real good. But at the coming, it's going to be like the fish.
Yeah. So the kingdom of heaven. Okay, I'm getting it. I was getting it mixed up earlier then because I'm thinking kingdom of heaven is within us, but that's now. Then there's the kingdom of heaven. Yeah. What is the king? But the kingdom of heaven didn't come until he returned. So what's the kingdom of heaven to him in these parables?
He's just teaching what will be.
Oh.
He's bringing the introduction to what the kingdom of heaven is like so they can get an idea and they can look for the day when the harvest of the fish will happen and when all that will happen. So he's just teaching about what's coming and what it would look like.
Okay, so now I'm really sorry, but I'm getting the timeline mixed up. The harvest, I'm picturing Jesus dying, then the disciples going out. This isn't kingdom of heaven yet. Then
They're
Jesus
preaching the kingdom of heaven.
Preaching that it's going to come.
Yeah.
The harvest is at Jesus' return.
Yes.
And then the kingdom of heaven exists after the harvest.
Because he takes his bride, who are the believers, and he has the marriage feast in that kingdom with them.
Okay.
So that is what the kingdom of heaven, it really looks like. The big numbers of the tree and the yeast and everything, that's going to be sorted out like the fish in the sea.
Okay, but do you hear where I'm getting confused? Because it's technically disciples, then it's harvest, then kingdom of heaven exists. But to say there's a bloated kingdom of heaven before that requires harvesting is confusing because I thought the kingdom of heaven doesn't come till after the harvest.
He's
Do you get what I'm
Yeah,
asking?
I get what you're saying. I think the better way to maybe say it is he's saying this is what the kingdom of heaven is going to go through until it comes. It's going to start small. It's going to get big. The birds of the air are going to sit in it. The fisherman's going to bring, the kingdom of heaven will, along the way before it comes, is going to be like a fisherman who brings in every kind of fish. You're going to bring in every kind. But at the harvest, we will see who really belongs in that kingdom of heaven.
Okay, so after Jesus, before Jesus, there's no talk of kingdom of heaven, right?
Well, there is, but it was on earth through the Jews. They had the kingdom of heaven on earth through their empire of material religion.
Okay, so they understood that there was a kingdom of heaven and they thought they were living it.
Yeah.
Okay, then Jesus comes and is revising that idea, saying there's a different, it's actually not what they think it is. And the disciples, once he dies and is resurrected and ascends, the disciples are building up the
That
kingdom of heaven.
bloviated tree.
Okay, so the kingdom of heaven starts actually at his death and ascension, and is being built.
It starts when John the Baptist says, prepare, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's being built as Jesus is talking,
Yes.
as disciples, and then it's harvested.
Yes.
Okay.
At the great dreadful day of Jerusalem.
Okay.
And the ones who aren't part of it are destroyed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then once the harvest happens, we still refer to it as the kingdom of heaven, but it's just in individuals.
After the harvest, we still are part of the kingdom of heaven.
But it's up there,
It's up
and
there.
we have access to it as individuals.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have a father there and we have a mother there. Yeah. The father is the bridegroom, Christ, and his bride. Those who were worthy of the kingdom of heaven in that destruction. They were unique. They were very, very unique. They were almost all Jews.
Wow.
And they were Paul said they have to be pure, holy, without spot, without wrinkle. There has to be 144,000 of them that are virgins and never lied with a woman. We're talking about a pure, holy bride, because Jesus doesn't have a bride or a church bride. That's a whore. Those are the parallels that are made there. So during this time while he's ascended, the apostles are gathering, and they're not tearing the weeds out, and they're not doing this. They're just trying to get this pure bride ready. So when he returns, those who are his will be known.
Okay. The whole yeast thing makes a lot more sense to me now.
That's why I see it that way. But it doesn't just come with a simple...
No.
Yeah.
I just had the timeline of it mixed up, but so there's a bride up there that is like a specific group of people that existed.
Yeah.
That is kind of freaky.
And they're gnarly. They are gnarly, holy people who went through hell and passed the test in their day of Roman persecution, Jewish persecution, starvation, Nero torturing Christians ad nauseum, all before the harvest. And Jesus, and he tells them in Revelation, hey, I'm coming, hang on. But if you don't hang on, I won't take you. So that is the group. Now, what do Christians say today? That in the world, the bride is here. Oh, you show me 144,000 virgin Christians in the world. You show me a kingdom that is represents what they were.
Yeah.
You can't find it. Yeah.
Okay, this makes sense.
This is good. You're getting it because it's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
Yeah.
The kingdom of heaven. Okay, so the Jews thought it was a material thing. Then it was a material thing.
Yeah.
And now it's a spiritual thing.
It was a material thing that still was not like the Jews thought, because they thought they were the kingdom of heaven on earth, and they thought their Messiah would sit on an earthly throne. Yeah, but Jesus is like, no, it's not going to be that. This kingdom of heaven, while materially fading out with us doing all this here, with material believers, it's going to go away and it will be there, and the kingdom of God is within people.
Where did the Jews get the idea that they had this kingdom of heaven?
Oh, my goodness. Well, God says in the Old Testament all over the place, he's their husband, that the nation of Israel is his bride. See, that's the first one. Marriage is central to all of this. Adam and Eve, first of all, Adam was both male and female. First, both male and female, made in God's image. God is both male and female. And God said it's not good that man should be alone, and he took from him the female part. Okay? And they were one. They were married. Well, when that fell apart, then God takes a nation of Israel, and he says, you're my bride. I will marry you. All right? And this is what Grady talks all about. And they went out on him. They were a harlot. They committed adultery against God. And so he gave her a bill of divorcement. So Christ comes as the Messiah, and he says, God is going to be true to his promise, but I'm going to take my bride, and it's going to be only from the faithful. Just because you come from the lineage of being a Jew and you're circumcised, big deal. We want people who have faith and live worthily
Wow.
So that is his bride, and he comes and the apostles help him gather that, and he says the gates of hell won't prevail against it. So then the harvest comes. He returns, he takes her. They inhabit the New Jerusalem above. And now we are the children of that marriage by faith, right?
Yeah.
And the gates of hell have done nothing but prevail against brick and mortar church. Every expression. So you get this kind of story.
That makes a lot of sense. And it's crazy.
Yeah. Religion is a joke. It's just a joke. And the pastors are jokes. They don't follow the truth. They follow their own wishes. And they don't have eyes to see or ears to hear. Why? Because they love the things of this world more than they love the truth. And no one believes that. But you sit down with a guy, me or Grady or anybody like us, you talk to us, and we'll tell you that this is what it says. We've spent our life pursuing it. Sorry if I'm rambling.
No,
you're on
not.
my soapbox.
What?
I'm on my soapbox.
I'm
You're
on
it
your
too.
soapbox.
All right, keep going.
No, it's not a ramble. It's perfect. Well, there's not much left. A prophet without honor, except in his own town and his own home. I didn't really understand that.
He says it's a great principle.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
you guys know me as a guy who was kicking a hay soccer ball around the streets.
Kicking a K soccer.
Kicking a K soccer ball around the streets. I don't have no honors with you. A prophet has no honor in his own country.
Yeah.
And what I always say as a joke is, unless you're in Salt Lake City, he has
so
all the
true.
honor. And that goes completely against what Jesus taught. So that tells you something.
Yeah, that is so interesting.
Yeah.
Because they don't, I don't know. The prophet, it's like a celebrity.
Yeah.
There's like a celebrity's family who's like, this is just
Yeah.
Jen.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's the end of chapter 13.
Yay.
Yay! We made it through.
Okay.
All right. On to the next.
Okay.